If you had to pick one to ride for the foreseeable future, would you take car or bike? Car or bike? Car or bike? Gotta take the bike. Alright, what is up, my people of the MotoJohn community? As always, thanks for tuning in to another video today. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button, like this video, take a look back at some of our other videos too. Maybe find something you like back there. Make sure you check us out on Instagram as well, at the MotoJohn. So we're back out on the streets of Philly today, riding around. We're going to be talking a little bit about riding or driving, commuting, methods of transportation, different stuff like that. Do you ride only your bike? Do you have only a motorcycle? Do you have a car and a motorcycle? Bicycle, motorcycle, car? Do you use public transportation? All those different things. And I'll give you a little background as to why we're talking about that. So we are talking about that stuff today because I have actually just left the car dealer. Just turned in my car, a Chevy Cruze that I had for a few years on a lease. Just turned it in and left with no other vehicle, no other car. Did not renew any lease. So like the title says, that means becoming a full-time motorcycle rider on my Harley Sportster. That's right, only method of transportation is going to be the motorcycle, but it might not be that crazy, it might not be as crazy as it sounds, and I'll explain why. But a little backstory to that first. So I've had a car pretty much just like anybody, probably my whole life, ever since I could drive. And so with that said, I'm curious to know, drop it down in the comments there if I got any full-time riders out there riding all year round, no other means of transportation, only your motorcycle. Or if you're someone who has a car and a motorcycle, how do you work that out? Like, I mean, I know it depends on where you live and like climate and weather and all that type of stuff. It might make it easier one way or the other to just ride your bike, or, I mean, I'm sure there's people out there that obviously need a vehicle and commute with that. So make sure you drop it down there. Let me know what your situation is. Only a bike, only a car, car and bike, bicycle, public transportation. Drop it down in the comments. Let me know how you guys work that out for yourselves. So for me, like I said, I mean, I've had a car my whole life, just like everybody else. And within the past several years, I got into doing leases because, I mean, it just seemed like you got better deals on them, monthly payment, whatever. They weren't that bad. And so I had been living outside the city of Philly for a little bit and commuting into the city for work. And I pretty much, I mean, I needed a car. Stuff is more spread out in the suburbs. Needed a car, driving into work, different stuff like that, commuting. And eventually I had gotten a new job directly inside the city where I was able to take the train into work every day. And at that point in time, still felt like I pretty much needed a car. I had renewed a lease at that point in time, so I was like, yeah, no, whatever, this is fine. I still need a car, drive around, all this different stuff. But I mean, I was still using it less because I was taking the train into the city a lot. Fast forward a couple years, eventually moved directly into the city where, I mean, eventually, and this is my particular scenario and why I felt like I could make this decision to get rid of my car. I have literally almost anything I need within walking distance or bicycle distance, or I hop on the motorcycle and go grab it. So once I moved into the city and my job was like a mile away, I got all these different things disposable to me, like very close, wherever I need them. Over the past couple years, like, I was just driving my car less and less and less. I'm like, this is just turning into a giant waste of money just sitting on the side of the road. A monthly lease payment, insurance payment every month. And as I got more acclimated to the city, and like I said, I like just less and less, just using the car so much less, if at all. I'm talking like months at a time. So it's coming up time now for me to have that lease expire, and I just turned the car in. I have no car now, no vehicle. So I mean, it's going to be strictly motorcycle from now on. It's going to be walking no matter what. It's going to be bicycle. I do bicycle a lot. And like I said, for me in this scenario, I think it's going to be pretty easy to achieve because, like I said, I have all these things at my disposal within close distances. Now, not everybody might have that luxury of having all those items close to them that they can easily access. I mean, I'm talking everything: hospitals, dentists, grocery, you know, shopping, literally anything you need. I mean, I can just walk out and go get it. Now, some scenarios where it might be a little bit more complicated is if I need to go anywhere long distance, like I'm talking like in the middle of winter, holidays coming up, something like that. What am I going to do? Well, I mean, listen, you might call me not a real biker or whatever, but I mean, I'm probably just going to rent a car. I mean, listen, I'm not taking long road trips in Pennsylvania in the middle of winter on this thing. I'm just not going to do it. Say whatever you want. But yeah, I mean, if it comes down to it, I guess I'm going to have to rent a vehicle. And, you know, if some emergency comes up and I need to go somewhere, again, I'm just going to have to rent a vehicle. In summer, it'll probably be bike. In those better months, it's definitely going to be bike, obviously. But yeah, becoming a full-time rider, commuter on foot, commuter on bicycle, whatever it might be, no vehicle. And so what else does that mean? It means I'm shedding a huge car payment. I'm shedding the insurance payment. And that's going to free me up to save a lot more money. And I think what I'm going to be able to do is just save a lot more money. Maybe invest in the channel a little bit more. Heck, maybe buy another bike. Is that foreshadowing for the future? Maybe. You'll have to stay tuned. But like I said, I think this transition should be pretty easy for me. You know, I might miss a little bit of luxury if I just need to run out somewhere, if I was planning something and just hop in the car and go. But I mean, I think the amount of money that I'm going to be saving is definitely going to be worth any inconvenience from that perspective. So I'm pretty excited about this. Like I said, maybe invest in the channel more parts, more videos, more cameras, more bikes, all that money saved up. Who knows what I'll do with it. Now, like I said a little bit earlier, I mean, everybody's scenario is going to be different. If you live somewhere else where stuff is not as close to you, it might be more convenient for you to have a motorcycle and a vehicle. I mean, for some people, like, you just have to have a vehicle. I get that. Making that transition might not be as easy or as simple, like for me, but I'm pretty excited to make this transition. I might have to make some type of investments in maybe like rain gear, heated gear to get through some of these like inclement weather days where I maybe would have used a vehicle. So if you got any recommendations for those, drop them down there to make being a full-time motorcycle rider a little more convenient. Also, like I said earlier, if I got any other full-time riders out there, no car, no other means of transportation, drop any tips down there. Let me know how you make it work, how you get through it. I mean, you just kind of roll, I guess. Just do whatever you got to do. But like I said, I've got all that stuff so easily accessible to me. Also, public transit. I don't mess around with public transit a whole lot anymore, especially in the age of Corona right now. I used to take the subway a little bit, used to commute on train a little bit. I don't really mess with the bus, but I mean, I know some people have to. But yeah, I mean, like I said, let me know what your situation out there is. You got both, car, motorcycle, how do you get around? What are some of your best practices if you're only riding a motorcycle? So I think we're gonna wrap it up right there. Like I said, becoming a full-time rider, no vehicle, just turned it in, shedding some payments, saving a bunch of money. I'm pretty excited about that. Excited to see what I can do with some of that additional money. And again, I know every scenario is gonna be different. My transition, I think, is gonna be a little easier. If you're a full-time rider out there, let me know what your transition was like to only having a motorcycle for transportation. As always, thanks to everybody tuning in out there. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit that button, drop me a comment, like this video, check us out on Instagram too, @themotojohn. And as always, make sure you ride safe out there. We'll catch you on the next one. It's the Moto John. We'll see y'all on down the road. Peace.